I hear this all the time. AI won't take your job. Someone using AI will take your job.
My girlfriend just left me because of you. Figure it out how to ask right questions, how to write the right prompts. AI won't take the jobs of people.
Are AI chatbots overrated or underrated? How can I reach as many people as possible? Anatoliy, what's up?
Everything's great, Mark. Thank you for inviting me.
Dude, I'm so glad to have you here. I was watching your YouTube video on how you're using ChatGPT for e-commerce. You've developed this Ecom Scout software for e-commerce and using AI. And so I'm really excited to talk about how AI is impacting the e-commerce field, the marketing field. I think it's a big deal. So let me actually kind of go back in time a little bit.
Sure.
You recorded a YouTube video about a year ago on how to use ChatGPT to write better copy. Where have you come since then? Are you still using ChatGPT to write copy for items and stuff on e-commerce stores?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we are using that for the brainstorming to understand the perfect angle of avatar, because to know your avatar in the marketing is the number one thing. So because of that, we just like using before we were doing research manually and making all the copywriting after that. Now we can do the research of our perfect avatar in matters of minutes by having the prompts, by having everything pre-set up. And basically that video from 1 year ago, still implementable. It's just we have now pre-set up prompts for it. But like if you are just newbie and won't try to mess up with ChatGPT, it's definitely the way to go. Like you can use exactly that video as a guidance and like.
And so what you're talking about is making sure that you're giving the AI platform, in this case, ChatGPT, you're making sure that you're giving ChatGPT the best demographic data, the best information about the person you want to sell to.
Exactly.
Where are you getting that information from?
So basically, when we are in some particular niche, we already aware a bit like who is our probably perfect avatar for this product. But if we're speaking, for example, about the health, most probably like for some of the products which we are selling, it's like 35 plus audience. And in that case, like we just go into first thing number in our end, Amazon. In Amazon, a lot of real reviews, like you finding out the product similar to your product or even the same, or at least from the same niche. And going through the comments before, you need to spend hours and hours on reading on the comments, understanding the common things in the comments, like life stories and so on. Now you can find out the best comments like through the extensions on the Chrome with AI extension, which is analyzing you all the like pluses and minuses of the product from the reviews of the people, and as well real buyers. And as well, like you can just copy paste the best of them and just place it to the ChatGPT and saying like, hey, like the number one thing you need to speak with ChatGPT, like in terms of roles. Hey, let's play in the role. You are marketing expert who is doing the Facebook advertising for last 10 years. You were able to spend profitably over 100 millions, for example, in advertising budget spent. So when I will be sending to you the real reviews of our customers for this product, please give it to me the exactly 5 potential names for my product. And obviously I missed one part, that before that you describing who you are, what your business is doing, what's your product is all about, what's the name of the product, what's the name of the brand, what's your vision, what's your core values in the brand. And then you're saying, let's play in the game that you are a professional marketer with the huge experience. And now I'm going to be sending to you the real data of our buyers, which could be from Amazon reviews, and just like according to all the data pluses and minuses of the product, give me please the perfect name for this product. 5 options. It's giving you 5 options. Okay, option number 3, I like it. Now provide me hook points like headlines, a description, video UGC script by using XYZ. So you just like have to play in the role. If you're gonna be just simply asking like, hey, how is the weather today? It will be answered good. But if you're going to be asking, hey, in this particular condition, because of the wind and so on, so on, so on, what could you say could happen with this weather? So it will be going much deeper. And
which is probably, by the way, the most important skill to be learning right now is how do I engineer prompts in ChatGPT, in Bard, in these, or I guess Bard's gone now, but how am I, how?
It was a mess. It was so much wrong information there.
Yeah, it was like the entire Google AI system, which was, by the way, just a quick aside here, Apple has just like made a deal with Google to develop their AI models. Like,
I don't $1 billion deal. Yeah.
I don't know if they realize this, but when Google dropped Gemini and they were creating all these woke images, the profit, like the market cap of that company dropped by 10%. You lost like $100 billion in market cap. You're like, those are the guys for me, but that's a, I don't know the hands were being greased behind the table there, but, let's get back to actually selling more stuff online, right? So basically what you're saying is if we can prime ChatGPT with information about who we want it to be, what role we want it to take, we give it the data and the information on who we want it to actually speak to, it's going to be able to write all these different types of ideas and copy.
100%.
And you mentioned using Amazon as a place to kind of like find information about your demographic, your psychographic. What about web scraping? Have you started like scraping the web using AI tools to like go to a website, scrape all the data off a website, or go to LinkedIn, scrape all the data off LinkedIn, and then using those spreadsheets to generate information about the customer?
Yeah, especially when you can integrate everything with the Excel sheets where it's going to be just simple prompts, edit, and it will be generated for you the real in and outs of those kind of people who you're scraping the information from. And you're going to be understanding their basically all the demographics, like their income, where they're living, what's their behavior, what's the love usually to do outside of work. You can do any kind of prompts by, like, you can scrape the data. But how and what exactly you want to see from that data? That's exactly what you said, that right now, AI won't take the jobs of people. AI actually going to be creating a new jobs, which is going to be for the people who able to use the right prompts to ask the right questions from the AI. So it's not came to replace human. It is actually extra power for the human. Like before, in 19th, it was like people, I remember I'm from Ukraine, and in our hometown in 90s, it was like people who were doing repair the typing machines. After that, PCs coming in the town, and like it's became like kind of IT repair guys. It wasn't IT that moment yet. It wasn't fancy name yet, but it was like computers, PC repair guys. And after 10 years, IT became in place, and it became like IT professionals who can fix, who can write the code and so on. And now it's new era. It's just like something similar, but the same guys or something else is going to be just figure it out how to ask right questions, how to write the right prompts. And it's going to be new experts in the industry, which is going to be getting the high paid salaries. Instead of that, they won't lose the job. People who are taking action actually will create these kind of possibilities for them.
And look, I hear this all the time. AI won't take your job. Someone using AI will take your job. But like, I hear that. I don't disagree. But at the same time, I lost my damn job. I lost my job, and I think why it's important to have these types of conversations. Like, I'm on this mission to help 1 million people save 1 billion hours using AI and tech, because there's all these antiquated ways of doing things. And if you're not adjusting and adapting, like you're talking about ChatGPT to scrape data from a website, insert it ChatGPT, create strategic platforms, write copy, you just did the job of 10 people by yourself.
Exactly.
And like, if you're not adapting to this, it's a problem. I want to go through a quick example. It's something we were talking about before we hit record, which always happens, by the way. The best stuff happens pre-recording and post-recording, but
we just discussed that actually a minute ago. Yeah.
there's, when I think about like sending emails or sending SMS messages, like this is a big deal. Mm-hmm. How can I reach as many people as possible? Historically, what I would do would be type emails out individually to every single person I want to talk. I don't want to do that. I don't want to send an individual email out to 1,000 people.
And you're going to be limited on time and quantity of sending emails if you're going to be doing that manually.
Exactly. Or I can hire someone to do that, but it's going to take them forever. They're going to write like one email every 5 minutes or something.
And you're going to be paying hourly, which is you will combine again and it will be too expensive.
So what I'm looking at is, okay, there's softwares, there's ways that I can automate that. I can send out an email blast. I've got an email newsletter. I've got my CRM. I can send out 1,000 emails like this instantly. The problem, the risk is that I'm going to get relegated to spam.
Yeah.
This has become a big deal. So can you just do me a minute? Talk to me a little bit about how you're building out your cold email tech stack. What does that look like for your company?
Yeah, so basically we are using really incredible. It's not like affiliate, nothing. It's just like really incredible software, which is called Gohelelevel. It's the CRM, and it's so flexible for any kind of implementations in the business, and it's deal with a lot of problems already. I mean, it's already fixed a lot of trouble. Still bugs going on, but you can reach out to 10,000s, 100,000s of people in one click. And the thing is that you can set up the like 3 of the steps, like for example, sending first email, and there is like person open email, doesn't open email, like what's gonna be taking next steps, like person went through the link, didn't go through the link, like all of that things. It's already exists in the market, but there is so simple, user-friendly implementation that you can do so much, and they already fix like the deliverability problems. I mean, still sometimes happening because there is a lot of I don't know the terminology of the like email marketing in terms of not deliverability, but there is a lot of like you sending emails and they were never ever sent. I mean, usually only 4 or 10% of your email list, if you have a huge email list, will receive the real letter. Like that's the point. That's a bottleneck. So
this is becoming a huge problem too, because Google and Yahoo just changed their criteria.
Exactly.
And if you get relegated to spam, your emails just don't exist. Nobody's going to read them.
And especially, if they one thing if they go into spam, but another thing when they never been actually delivered. And like if it's going to spam or people will be press unsubscribe, it will decrease your deliverability and it will be giving you another problems. Your domain will be flagged and so on. So basically, the same like SMS. If we send in SMS through CRM, it could mention in the name of the sender potential scam, which is like insane. Like I was telling you before recording, I just got a call recently. I like looking on the number, potentially scam. I'm like, I knew this kind of problem exists. Let me pick up and understand who is that. I'm picking up, and it is actually I got a newborn baby recently, and like the clinic called me, the hospital called me to update like how is the baby, asking me questions, and I'm looking. Potentially scam, like insane. And I asked them on the phone, are you using CRM? They saying, yeah, we are using CRM. And so, So that's a bottleneck right now on the SMS and callings through CRM. Phone numbers, which is digital numbers. It's giving possibilities of do not get unreached to your potential prospects because they will see potential.
So let me just get this straight. You have a newborn baby. The hospital calls you for a quick checkup. And when you open up your phone, it says potential scam on your. That's unbelievable.
Because they're using CRM, and it is as it is.
Yeah. Well, and just to your point on CRM, I use Gohelelevel too. I've been very, very impressed with it. And one of the cool things you can do with Gohelelevel is create like these automations and email sequences. So, for example, if someone books a time on my calendar, or if let's give you a different. Let's say I meet someone in a networking event, I input them into my CRM, it tags them, and it's going to send them 50 emails over the course of the year.
Yeah, and you won't even put any finger on it.
I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, you spend a couple hours before to set up.
Yeah, I can set it up. The other cool thing from an agent, and I think one of the reasons why Gohelelevel has become so popular is if my CRM works and I have great automations in place, I can go to you and say, Anatoliy, I can do the same thing for you. And it's very easy for me to white label you. Then you have your own CRM with all my automations and all my sequences.
In one click, you just press duplicate. And the person who is getting from you this kind of flows, he's thinking, oh my God, it's mind blowing. It's hours, days of work. But actually behind the scene, you can become a real business owner by just selling the automated systems in the CRM for someone else by white labeling the Gohelelevel, for example, and just press the button, make a copy, and it's just duplicating, especially if you're duplicating for the same industry. Let's say, for example, advertising agency, and you go into another advertising agency and saying, hey, I'm a perfect like CRM master, I can make for you XYZ. They're like, okay, how much? You saying the primary price because you want to be doing the heavy lifting job. And after that, saying it will take 5 to 10 days. By basically what you're doing after signing the contract and getting paid, you just copy pasting everything in a matter of minutes, but obviously making small tweaks, making sure that all the links are different and updated, and like in 10 days it sounds like you made a huge job, but you spent a couple hours.
Recurring revenue, email sequences.
Exactly.
It's a great model.
I have, sorry for stopping you, I have a friend in Canada. He made over 80,000 passive income through the Gohelelevel.
Wow.
This way, what I just described.
Good for him. Yeah. That's sick. You also obviously use ChatGPT to help with writing out all these emails. And but again, one of the concerns I have here is I do not want to get relegated to the potential scam or the potential spam folder, right?
We have one solution there.
So let's talk a little bit about that. I think this is important because it's if you go to spam, your marketing is not going to work.
Exactly.
I can very quickly and very easily get lots of emails, right? We could, we use some software to scrape LinkedIn so we can search LinkedIn, find the people, scrape. We get the emails. The problem though is that if I just import all of those leads, all of those emails into Gohelelevel, into my CRM, and just start sending out emails, they're going to start, people are going to say they're either A, not going to open them, or B, they're going to say, report them as spam, which is going to kill the deliverability of my entire company.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we're implementing an additional layer.
I was about to say that.
So tell me, how are you integrating that additional layer? You're not taking all your cold leads and adding them to your CRM. What do you do with the cold leads that you scrape?
So if it's a cold leads completely, then we have to first of all, send in the soft welcome emails. No offers, nothing, just some value, some incredible value, which is going to be, in our opinion, super valuable for the readers. And it will be just not super pushy. It's just like friendly in the text, and you see open rate and you see emails which are opening. Let's say, for example, you send 10,000 emails and your open rate 53%. So 5,300 people are actually opening your email because it was a great hook or whatever, in the subject of the email. But rest of the people haven't been done anything with your email. So you send 2-3 sequences of such kind of emails, which is not heavy pushing and showing them value, which is the readers who are opening actually see the value and they're engaging with your content. Especially you could see that maybe some other actions or replies were to your end. So it's a perfect hook. Then people who never open, you have to get rid of them. Because the thing is, if you're going to be continue sending next steps emails to the same people who never open it, it will be unsubscribed or per things.
Right, but you're not sending these emails out through Gohelelevel, are you?
No, we send in through the Gohelelevel if we're making sure that all the setup is correct.
Interesting.
Yes, but the thing is that when we receive it and we know who is not qualified, we just putting them on the side as a trash and leave it the one which is engaged, and then trying to provide already some kind of value bombs with the soft call to action, and seeing from people who are actually click on the links or done some action on the email, then we again taking them out, let's say 2,000 or 1,000 people. Now we have super hot leads who are actually engaging with the email, who don't mind to receive it. And now you won't be spamming everyone. You are actually narrow focusing your funnel to the perfect potential client for you, and you're gonna be having better deliverability, less emails gonna be going to the spam, unsubscribe, and so on, which is directly effective, as I said, your business performance. And usually people doesn't know what they're doing. They're I have 1,000, 2,000, 20,000 emails I'm sending now over, and they send it directly some push, some offer. No, you have to warm up. You have to give a lot of value. Share with them videos. Share with them the best actually text from the beginning, because people doesn't like to click on the links when they don't know you. But giving real cases which they could feel that, oh my God, he understands me. I want more.
I think that's a big mistake that people make in marketing, especially cold marketing. They go for the sale too quick, or there's too many words. General rule of thumb is they need to be able to read in 5 seconds what you're trying to get across. And so I struggled for a long time in what value can I give? And I'll just put this out there as a quick tip. If you want people to open your emails, if you want people to engage with your content, look at yourself. Look at what your mountain of experience is. What is the best value you can give to the marketplace? For example, I have a 20-page standard operating procedure for podcast production. It's all the softwares, it's all the steps, it's all the checks and balances that I use in producing podcasts professionally. And I say, you run a podcast, here it is for free.
Yeah.
Here it is for free. And if they want that, okay, let me come back to them next week with, by the way, this is how to use Zapier to automate my steps.
Yeah, exactly.
The next week, by the way, this is how, and my goal is just eventually to be like, who the hell is this guy? I want to actually get on a call with this person. So I just think that that's a good place to start. What's my mountain of experience? What's the best thing that I could give to someone that could use it?
I'm really receiving thousands and thousands emails, and I'm bad on emails. I'm not as email opening emails. Like I have a professional email, which is like our assistant and checking everything and let me know if something important. But my personal email, it's 20,000 unopened emails because I just started to open all of them. And the thing is that now I'm seeing that people who are using ChatGPT or any AI tools will win, and people who are the most creative one will win. Because I'm checking all the time some kind of headlines, what person who trying to reach me, what he texted. And just yesterday, I got one of the most creative one, which is it bring my attention. I understand that it's marketing since I'm in the marketing, but I got oh my God, what is that? For a second, I just stuck and I have to open this email in notification. And it was said, listen, Anatoly, because of you, I just got, my girlfriend just left me because of you. I well, what's happening? I was thinking maybe it's a customer or something like that. And after that, I read the next sentences, beginning of the mail, it's a marketing. but it's you see creative people going to be finding out the way to bring your eyeballs on them. And if you press the link and there is a valuable content under their speech, you're on the hook.
Yeah, that's good. I'm going to steal that hook.
Exactly.
My girlfriend broke up with me because of you. That's funny. That's funny. I do want to talk about another type of AI technology that's become, I think, really important. It's very topical. It's talked a lot about, especially in the e-commerce space. If if somebody is landing on your website, how do I keep them engaged for longer? How do I get them to move through my sales funnel or to buy my product or whatever? And that's AI chatbots. Are AI chatbots overrated or underrated?
It depends on the prompts inside. So I know the chatbots, which is if you're going to be speaking with them, you will understand, first of all, you understand that it is a chatbot. Secondly, it's going to be kind of dumb answers. I mean, you asking particular question and they just giving you the prompt that your dog is blue, it doesn't make any sense conversational. People sometimes thinking by just integrate the AI with your website, it's enough. But you have to teach that bot on your industry, on your particular product, on the top 10 questions which people asking, maybe top 50 questions. It depends of your particular industry. For example, I have a perfect case. One of my Ukrainian friends, he opened there is a booking.com, for the hotels, and he created healthbooking.com, something like that. So related to the health needs. So a medical service booking.com. So basically people coming on the website who looking for some kind of doctors in Turkey, in India, in Europe, in the United States, finding out those particular professionals. And before they look and they trying to understand how to who can them help and so on, before let them book a call with their salesperson who will be investigating and understanding if this is a good fit for them as a client and help the client get the right spot with the right doctor. They made a chatbot and they trained the chatbot according to the needs with the prompts. And basically the chatbot have full conversation with the person who is reaching out to them in the chat, and basically saying and answering as a doctor professionally on their problems, on their sickness, on their needs. And when they see that this person has enough budget for covering the cost of the travel to the clinic and so on, whatever country it is, they see that enough budget, they see the problem which could be helped by the particular doctor, they see all the needs. They just made the short summary, and send it through CRM, integrated automatically to the salesperson. And then CRM, the chatbot, booking a call with that lead. And only from moment when call has been booked by the AI, real salesperson coming in and start conversation.
Do you know the name of the software that he was using?
It's similar to, like, there is a bunch of them. One of them is ManyChat, which is most known, but it's ManyChats for the Facebook, for other social media platforms. It's quite good, but there are like minimum 5 of them I know, but it will be hard to tell you exactly by names. ManyChat is the most known one. They used the chatbot, and prompts and everything was done by their AI guys who are working exactly on this particular subject. They hired 3 people who just managing the AI and all other things on their website.
This idea I think is really important.
I would like just to edit, sorry.
Yeah.
Before that, that chat was managed by the 9 VA assistants. And when the VA assistants was handling that and moving to the salesperson, they counted that the money what they paid for setup and the money what was invested in time, it's like 9 times cheaper in matter of the year than keeping those 9 assistants. And they remove the assistants, and AI doing the much better conversion rate job than assistants.
By the way, an example, that is an example of AI taking someone's job. People are always saying AI did take a job. It took 9 jobs, right? It took 9 of their jobs. There were 9 people doing the job. They implemented an AI chatbot. No more people. Yeah,
but now one of those 9 can wake up and understand someone done that setup. I want to learn how to do this setup and become this professional. And he'll get high paid job.
Totally agree.
It's about the people. I mean, we making our decision. We can cry that something like we lost. We can cry that something taken from us. We can cry something doesn't work for us. Or we have to look on the problem and understanding I have to manage. And so means I have to adapt. What's going to be my next steps? So we are human. We have a brain to make the judgments and decisions. If we're going to blame AI that it took my job, then it will take your job. And believe me, it's not because of AI. It's just because you were not doing anything. You were a lazy person who just decided to let it go. Otherwise, it's a time where lazy people was always losing. But now it's going to be really.
But we have this attitude. I don't know exactly where it came from. We had this attitude that if you have something good, it's because you took it from someone else, or, you're like, if you wake up in the morning every morning thinking that you're a victim or you're oppressed, exactly, or you will get back what you give out, because the reality is that this is a very important time in human history, because that example of those 9 people being replaced by one chatbot, that is going to happen in every company. Walmart is planning to automate 63% of their stores in the next 3 years. Yep. McDonald's, like, you don't actually talk to a human at McDonald's now. You type in what you want and a robot brings you out your hamburger.
Yeah, I saw it.
This is happening. By the way,
it has to be operated by human.
Well, they do. A human's going to serve a different role.
Yeah.
The jobs are going to evolve. And some people are going to be able to adapt. There's some people that are going to have a very difficult time. Like if you're a 55-year-old woman with no, tech training, you might have if you were folding laundry at Target, you might have a hard time adjusting to what happens next. So there's a discussion. I think there's an ethical discussion to be had there.
Yeah.
But I want to actually bring it back a little bit to the AI chatbot, because sometimes my fear with using an AI chatbot is it's just going to book a bunch of crap meetings for me. And I'll give you an example of this. The right prompts, right. Because I'm in a Gohelelevel group, and we were talking, and someone's like, my AI chatbot's working. It just booked me a meeting. And he shared the messages that were going back and forth. And it's like, bro, all it did was book you into a call to be sold. Like, the other person's like, yeah, no, I'd love to sell you my thing. Let's hop on a call. And the chatbot's like, great, let's book a call. So both parties are going to go in with one goal. I'm going to sell the other person this thing.
Exactly.
I don't have any problem filling up my calendar. I just want to fill up my calendar with high quality calls.
Otherwise, you're going to just fill your calendar with ineffective meetings, which will like drain your energy, which will cause the problems that like keeping you behind of what you could do outside of those calls.
The magic is in the prompts. The magic's in the prompts. And I'll give you another example. I really want to talk about Ecom Scout because that's one of the main reasons I want to bring you on. But when we talk about prompts, I created an automation using Zapier and Google Forms. So a client fills out a Google form that kind of explains what their business is, who they serve, et cetera. Mm-hmm. Zapier sends it over to ChatGPT. ChatGPT will automatically write out a marketing strategy based on SWOT analysis. It will you can actually, I haven't gone this far, but you can say, hey, create a marketing strategy based on Donald Miller's story brand, or generate a funnel strategy using Russell Brunson's Traffic Secrets. You can use all these different, books. ChatGPT has read basically every book. But then what it does is it writes out a script for all the videos that person would want to record to talk about their business.
Yeah.
And then I can send over my video guy or myself. We can go to their business and record the videos, all done automatically using a form. But I'll tell you what, it took a lot of tweaking to actually get a good result.
Exactly.
It took a lot of tweaking. You can't just set it and forget it. I feel like there's a constant kind of need to continue to tweak to get the best result.
Yeah, you need just understanding that, okay, here is the prompt was written in the wrong way in terms of based on some story or whatever, but it has to be more specific what exactly you mean by that, because otherwise it will be super generic. It will be just replicated all the story of the previous business which you want to use as a model. But if by using that particular story and this person's feedback about his brand, by optimizing that for our 2024 year in such kind of economic position as it today, and if it's a restaurant, let's say, and all the struggles which restaurants have in a post-COVID time, build the strategy on that person's story, but by counting all the things which is happening here on this particular business and struggles and potential possibilities for growth in nowadays. So it has to be adapted for both sides. Otherwise, it will give you the story of 1970 and when McDonald's started or something like that, and at the end, it's not implementable in nowadays.
Probably the most important skill, I think, is learning how to develop. If I was in college right now or high school, that's what I would be learning to do.
That's definitely it's definitely not hard. I would say the best prompt makers, it's the people with the great imagination. I'm tough in imaginations. I'm super good on vision. I can imagine, but I'm tough on the put everything from my brain into the words, in the right words. But I can give the idea for person who is for example, great copywriter, and he will do the right prompts according to understanding what I want to see from it. And basically, people who are doing the best prompts is the people who have imagination, copywriting skills, or creating those skills by attending some courses, universities or something like that.
University of YouTube, bro. You don't need to go to a university.
It's a free education for everything.
It's unbelievable. This entire, holy crap, man. The call, I went to college. I'm glad I went to college. Shout out to Owls over at FAU. But the whole call, take out $150,000 in debt that you're never going to get rid of to learn a skill that might not even be relevant in 5 years. It's unbelievable. It's a Ponzi scheme that's about, if you're thinking about going to college, you need to really think about why you want to go. You don't need to go to college to get a degree in drinking. I'm sorry, you just don't.
I was trying to be ethical about the universities when I was said about that, because now I understand your point, which is I 100% in with. Universities are great for the networking if you're in the great university. So to go to see the future CEOs of the big companies, so you have connections, you becoming friends, but it is great for the right networking in the right place with the right kids of the right parents. If you're in the great university, that point to go. But if you go and let's say I got one person who said, I'm in debt of $250,000 by graduating from university, and wow, what you are studying? She English. I was shocked that case. Are you American? Yeah. Do you speak English? Yes. and you are owing now to the government $250,000 for the English skill. Did you get the job? No, that's why I'm here applying for the job. And job is like media buying or whatever.
It's freaking nuts.
It's insane.
It's freaking nuts. But even the networking, like, I don't know. One of the things I think is really cool that's happened over the past, we'll call it 20 years since the internet happened, and you're seeing this play out across platforms, is the bottlenecks, the people that determined who was allowed to play are being cut off. So like, you can start a podcast. I don't need to go to like a news network to get distribution. You don't need to be in the New York Times to be read. You don't need to be on CNN to be watched. You don't need to go to Harvard to make valuable connections. Everything has been open. All you need to do is pop open the books and do some work and learn some of these AI tools. And I think that's an amazing thing.
And if you deliver value, the social media will push your content by itself.
100%.
And you will become famous without doing anything. Just deliver great value and making the right content. Like TikTok guys, like who providing like really some cool way of recordings, like becoming a millionaires in a matter of a year just by delivering like high quality content, which is catching the eye and making people watch it.
And now more so than ever with AI. Yeah. I think I want to say Microsoft is investing 25% of their budget, R&D budget, to AI. 25%. Like, it changes everything. If you're able to like develop really great chatbots for e-commerce businesses or for attorneys, you are going to be set. You are going to be good. All right, but look, I want to talk about this software, Ecom Scout. Tell me about it. Like, how are you using AI to drive more sales with Ecom Scout?
Yeah, sure. So basically, since 2021, iOS 14 in iPhones in Apple happened, which has destroyed all the attributions of the advertising, unfortunately. So 2021, 2022, it was super difficult for the advertisers to adapt. So basically what happened, users are not...
Bear with me a moment. Yeah, explain to me. What does that mean?
Yeah, so after iOS 14 update, there was like a pop-up window. Would you like to share your personal data to optimize for the best performance, the ads, which is going to be showing on your newsfeed, something like that. And you pressing yes or no. And like more than half, actually even more than 70% of the audience has been pressed no. And basically Facebook and any other platforms later on were not able to track the data officially anymore. Otherwise it's illegal. So basically they were trying to investigate, but the solution was not there. And now after a couple of years, there is a couple of platforms which is able to do that. And now we got that as an idea. The thing is that attribution problem, what does it mean? When you're an advertising account in Facebook, for example, in TikTok, and there is like showing like you got 3 sales. Usually you see from what creative, from what advertising campaign, you know what to do. If you have that kind of particular results, 3 sales from particular campaign, you know you need to scale, how to scale and so on. It's up to you according to your skills. But the thing is, you know that this is a good one and this is the loser who is not performing anything.
Yeah, you could A/B test.
Yeah, and with the attribution platform, like we built on AI generated powered platform, Ecom Scout, it's showing you exactly from where sales came from by tracking the cookies, which is officially, if person press yes, I agree with the cookies, it means Google can share with any kind of partners, which is us advertisers and anyone else or any other website which exists on Google, share the data. And you can basically see the right conversions. And like there is a competitors on the market who are doing the same and done like quite earlier than us, but they are charging actually starting from 300 to 2,000-3,000 a month and more a month. So when you are having high level stores, brands and so on, we were sick and tired by managing several brands, several stores, and like start paying from 300 to 500,000 and above when sales are coming higher. And it's annoying because like they know that they super valuable, and that's why everyone will be paying that so much. And clients were complaining to us. We were really as well mad. And as advertising company, GSM Growth, we just make a decision to create our internal tracking AI powered platform. And we created for ourselves by using one of my friends and his IT company. And it was so cool that we saw that like all the attribution showing properly well, and we decided to go in public and show it that to everyone and make it the main point was to make it cheap. And basically we done fixed price $99 a month without going higher. If value is going higher, nothing. It's going to be just fixed $99 because we know the pain of advertisers that we won't have attribution, but we don't want to overpay for no reason because there is no reason to overpay for it.
Which this kind of harkens back to what I was just talking about and how things are being opened up. And I heard Chamath Prapayaseth from All In Podcast talking about this. As these tools develop and as we have more and more resources like the Blackwell chip from NVIDIA being 25% more efficient, all these new AI tools being open source and whatnot, it's going to empower people like yourself that have a zone of genius to create lower cost options. You're not going to have to go to the company charging $1,000 a month. And I think it's going to be a big win for every business owner, because I think that I expect that the cost of all these services is going to start to lower as the developers and the solutions become more robust.
And especially with high value of customers who will appreciate the low price, you overtake the competitors with the high price because they're going to be losing the market share to someone who actually provided the cheaper solution and actually even better quality integrations, more user friendly. Because obviously when we were creating, we were using the Tesla model. Let's ask audience what they want, what they need, what is the perfect car for them. This is how they create their first Tesla Model S. And basically, Model X was created on that point, if I'm not mistaken. So, and we just were asking our media buying team. I was asking my networking of advertisers, what is the pain point? Is the pricing? Is the not user friendly? Like summary page is super difficult to set up for some reason on the competitor sites. And we combine all that together and start implementing and make it super, super simple. And basically, by that being said, when you hear your audience, now we get couple of points as ideas that are going to be next implemented. One we already implemented. So basically, because it's AI powered platform, we just added their function of pressing one single button. It's for the people actually who, what I was just saying, saving the time in terms of doing the marketing research. So for example, some of the ads, particular ads with the ad copy, what is ad copy? Who doesn't know? So ad has ad copy and creative video, let's say, or picture, and the ad copy, which is text above in the Facebook, for example. And that text is showing you hey, we are providing XYZ. This is the functionality of the products, call to action. So basically you find out that this particular creative with that copy producing really great results. Now in the Ecom Scout, you can press the simple button on the creative itself, press the button to generate new copy, and in a matter of seconds, the bot generating you 3 variations of different, better improved copies than your winning one. Because what we done with the bot, we just educated on the last 100 years of the marketing researches, successful cases, and all the top books and top entrepreneurs of nowadays of what they're teaching. We just put it all that information into the bot and start messing around and test it. And we notice that the bot understanding what we want when we done a couple of tweaks, and it's giving you similar to the original copy, but giving you a bit more controversial points, which is makes people wondering what is there to click the button to go to the website.
Yeah, my wife
basically
broke
now
up.
You have in matter before you need to ask copywriter, paying him extra price, waiting for days or weeks or whatever, doing by yourself, or you just click the button and you have 3 variations to test immediately, and you just copy pasting and just launching your ads. We are planning to do that automatically, that you can press the button and your ads will be launched with that copy. We have so many ideas which is step by step going to be implemented, but the thing is that you have to do something really super affordable for every as well. Attribution platforms were not possible to afford for newbies. I mean, people who were testing out their ads and finally start seeing the results, but have lack of scaling because attribution doesn't work. And they need to get this $300, $500 platform.
Yeah, you need to, but you need to have a certain amount of ads that you're running, right? How many ads would I need to be running for the program?
From the day one, you can launch it, and it's even better because data will be collecting and showing you the real data from day one. So,
what I mean, is okay. Noted. You want to get the data into the system as soon as possible. Yeah. I guess the question is, how much money would I be wanting to run in ads? Like, because if I'm just going to run like a $10 Instagram boost, this is not for that.
Yeah, we are speaking about e-commerce. This our platform integrated to Shopify store and like focusing on the conversions on the store.
Right. So I would have a Shopify store that I'm running traffic to through Facebook, through Google, TikTok ads. And I know I'm going to be setting a consistent amount. It's continuously going to be iterating and doing more and more A/B testing to find the optimal result. And it's going to continue to take the data that it receives from the attributions on the clicks and the platform and the ad itself.
So, and basically you'll see like as soon as you like connect the platform, it will give you bigger room of seeing the real data, not what is actually a Facebook business manager showing to you, because so often it's like showing 3 sales, but actually was 1. You check in the same campaign, it actually was 1 sale. So you think that it's a winner and you start scaling their own campaign and like, oh, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because it was fake data and you just start scaling fake data and you throwing money on the table. So that's the thing which is the problem after 2021. That's why attribution is so important to have from day one on your site. And basically all the newbie people who didn't have the past performance yet, didn't have the cash flow yet, 300, 500 a month is quite expensive for them. And like, that's why we were like, it's really like, it has to be solution from day one. And $99, it's basically if someone's starting their business, it's not the big expense, especially we're providing like discounts 20% for the first month. So the person can software start it and seeing the like real data as up. So basically, supposed to be affordable, user friendly to connect, and then making for you like really great job in terms of data showing and giving ideas for the ad copies, giving ideas of how to test next, what's the next steps you can predict with the advertising.
Super cool. And love how you're using AI to optimize all that as well. So listen, y'all, we've been talking to Mr. Anatoliy Labinskiy in the house, in the After Hours Entrepreneur, talking AI, talking marketing, talking how you make some more damn sales. Anatoliy, thank you so much for joining the show today, bro.
Thank you, Mark, for having me here. And seriously, like if anyone has questions or whatever, I'm like humble. I always like answering and always like good to speak with people, like personally answering in DMs, Ecom by Anatoliy Instagram. So please welcome. I will try to help as much as I can. Otherwise, like hopefully you'll get some notes from this episode and take some action, because usually people what are doing, they just like speaking, oh my God, it was mind blowing. It's insane. The guy is smart. Oh, this was also a good one, but didn't take any action.
Take the damn action.
Yeah.
Press play, take action. Good message.
Thanks, man.